plan, not a set of slogans, John, like yours.
Well,
I set out a plan that goes across the short term, the medium term, the long term, which runs across savings, infrastructure, exporting, sustainability, education and skills and innovation. John cared so much about innovation, he scrapped the R&D tax credit in his policy.
Well, let's hear John Key.
That's good. And while all of that has happened, our productivity's halved in New Zealand. Record numbers of New Zealanders have left. Let's get a few things right. Our economy is not growing at the rate it should do. When the books got opened on last Monday, we were greeted with a decade of deficits. And Helen Clark has gone out there spending money recklessly since then. No concern for what's going on. Her government could not stick with the sort of budget deficits that they're going to have in the future and the spending commitments. We're going to have to change, and we're going to have to grow much with productivity. We're going to have to actually back our people to do much better.
Sounds like public spending cuts to me.
You said you're going to have to cut. You're going to cut back on bureaucracy.
That's right.
Does that mean jobs will go under your watch if you were Prime Minister?
The first thing it means is this, Mark. The bureaucracy under Helen Clark, those core people that give advice to the government, and I support what they do, the sheer number of them has gone from 26,000 to 36,000 in Wellington. Or put it another way...
They're going to be sacked?
Well, no, we're capping the bureaucracy at that level. We're not going to grow that anymore because our argument is it's far more important for that money to be going in frontline services. I want it going into doctors and nurses and midwives and medicines for New Zealanders, not in more bureaucrats. And yes, we do want to change.
But when you say capped, what does that mean? You don't replace anyone who leaves?
There'll be no increase from that 36,000. Some people will leave. Natural attrition is reasonably high. Look, no one
will get fired.
I have managed very large businesses.
I don't think he's giving that commitment.
I've managed very large businesses. I know that if you just go in there and sack a certain amount of staff, that is very debilitating for an organisation. But there is a way of managing our way through this. We've got to take some of the pressure off New Zealand businesses. Today...
But can I just ask you again, John King, will anyone get fired?
Well, we're going to go through line by line that expenditure. If it's something that our government doesn't want to follow...
people get fired.
Well, we want... Tell you what happened today.
John.
322 people got fired today because our economy is inefficient. 322 people at Carter Hall Harvey lost their job because we haven't been managing our economy properly.
That wasn't why they lost their job.
They lost their jobs,
and
John. You know that.
Well, let's come back to the job losses.
Real people lose their job. Real people lose their job.
Being able to export timber at the moment, and the fact that the house building sector is slow.
We're going to come back to these issues shortly. We'll be back with more on how all of this affects our back pockets after the break.
I've killed a lot in my time.
Okay. Another one gets the chop.
Can't help being old, fat and bigoted.
And the team's devastated.
The witch is dead, the wicked witch.
How will they cope without him?
This is going to be, I think, the hardest service we've had. How do we juggle our way through it? I don't know yet. If we can.
Oh, my God.
Hell's Kitchen UK, Thursday, TV1. It's wild. It's untamed. And it's always a challenge.
Doesn't everybody put their washing machine in the swimming pool?
They're on the brink of disaster.
The hell do you think you're doing?
Could they take away our animals?
You put that back, I'll blow your bloody head off.
Wild at Heart, Friday, TV1.
To shear a sheep, see this guy. To share in financial success, see us. Southern Cross Building Society, one of the locals since 1923.
Retrovision's Red Tag sale is now on. Upgrade to the Fujitsu Plasma filter model for the price of a standard high wall. Only $2,797 installed. Save $250 on this 40-inch Samsung LCD, only $1,498. And save $102 on this Alba fridge freezer, only $1,197. Retrovision's Red Tag sale, 2 weeks only.
Retrovision, we'll go the extra mile for you.
Retrovision, more than just the best price.
40 years ago, BP teamed up with Surf Life Saving New Zealand. To mark our 40-year milestone, we've launched a motorised toy rescue boat. Support Surf Life Saving. Buy your own rescue boat for just $9.95 at participating BP stations while stocks last.
We used to be all grass, but wanted to take the farm to the next level and weatherproof our future. With Pioneer's help, we introduced maize silage and really lifted our milk production and profit. Even with the summer's drought, we still had our second best season ever.
To weatherproof your farm, call 0800 More Milk.
If you want to pay less tax, you could either write to Dr. Cullen and ask him to let you off.
Yeah, right.
Or, more profitably, invest in the Cash Advantage Fund from Rabo Plus. Tax on your deposits is capped at 30%. Your money is on call, and the good doctor won't mind a bit.
You know there's nothing that it wouldn't do. But when it comes to doing stuff for you, there ain't no mountain high enough, it's true. True, 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 true.
We can all do our bit for climate change if we make it part of our everyday lives.
Ooh, yeah.
Together, we can make a big difference to tomorrow.
CFDs are becoming the trading product of choice for growing numbers of traders in New Zealand and around the world. Find out why at cmcmarkets.co.nz and request a free CFD info pack. CMC Markets. Trade to suit your lifestyle.
It all goes! Carpet One's biggest ever sale is on now. Thousands of metres of quality carpet, all priced to clear. You will not buy cheaper. Best of all, because we're mobile, this massive sale comes to you. Make the call.
Switch to green at Lighting Direct. Up to 30% off New Zealand's most unrivaled range of energy-saving products. Introducing Megaman, our energy-saving brand from France. Liquid mercury free, save up to 80% off your running costs.
Think Lighting Direct.
Put your feet up and relax on Stressless, a recliner that makes you feel incredible. Discover how the chair adapts to your body. The comfort is outstanding. Stressless, available nationwide. Visit stressless.co.nz.
Welcome back, and we're still talking the economy, and the next YouTube question is for Helen Clark, and it's on affordable housing.
What does the government propose to do to make housing more affordable for first home buyers? Would there be cheaper interest loans like the 5% Housing Corporation loans of yesteryear to attract young voters like myself?
I think there's three issues here. Firstly, KiwiSaver, under the Labor plan, enables young people to build up a substantial deposit. So if we took our young couple on the average couples or household income, which is about $75,000, so they're earning roughly $37,500 each, then after 5 years in KiwiSaver, they'd have a deposit of $35,000, which is quite a significant amount of saving, which they could put into their deposit. Now, as well as that, we've had running for a little while the Welcome Home scheme, which has been particularly helpful to young people buying the starter home in the regional cities, but the shared equity scheme is going to be more helpful in the more expensive property markets, and I do have, actually tomorrow, some more policy to announce around housing.
There's a lot of people think back to the days of the old Housing Corp loans where they got an affordable interest rate. Is there any going back to that?
Well, when I was Minister of Housing, quite a lot of years ago, we did have a substantial portfolio for mortgages, and one of the saddest things in my life was seeing an incoming national government sell the whole lot of it to Faye Richwhite, and we all know what happened to them. So going back to concessional interest rates, I don't think would be on, but I think through shared equity, through underwrites to the mortgages like the Welcome Home scheme, we can find ways to help, and certainly KiwiSaver with the Labor scheme, the 4% employee contribution, the 4% employer contribution, plus the $20 tax credit, that really does help people get the money together for a deposit.
Mark, look, firstly, under our KiwiSaver scheme, New Zealanders can continue to pay in 4% if they want to. Yes, that $20 tax credit's there. Yes, the 2%'s there. And the 4% Helen's talking about doesn't come until 2011 anyway. Secondly, if you ask the question why New Zealanders have found it very hard to buy a house, a couple of reasons. Firstly, our planning legislation doesn't work well. The Resource Management Act has meant that it's much more expensive for builders and those who subdivide land to get that out of the ground, get those subdivisions going. So that's added a lot to the cost. In 2004, I think it was, the Building Act was changed in New Zealand. That added an awful lot of bureaucracy and costs to the system. Now the government's arguing that they should change it 4 years on, very late. The other point, of course, is this. For the ability for someone to buy a home, and I fully support home ownership. New Zealand is a property-owning democracy, in my view. It's a wonderful thing. But the real point here is you've got to have lower interest rates to be able to meet your mortgage and higher after-tax incomes to actually pay it. Interest rates doubled under a Labor government. That made it more difficult for young homeowners than anything else to get into that property market. And as I say, that failure to reform. We'll also have a gateway program, and the way that gateway program will work is you'll be able to go along, you'll have to pay for the house, but the section over a 10-year period will be owned by the state, and you can buy that any time within that 10-year period. For somewhere like Hobsonville and my electorate, I don't support state housing for Helen says on that, but I do support gateway homes where young